Dumb and Dumber 2 is an American buddy comedy film, starring our very own Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. The plot of the film follows two equally dimwit best friends, Harry Dunn and Lloyd Christmas, who embark on a journey to find Harry's long-lost daughter and convince her to donate her kidney to Harry, who is in desperate need of it. The movie begins in Daldy View Psychiatric Hospital, where the nurses feel pity seeing Lloyd Christmas, who has been suffering from catatonic schizophrenia for 2 decades. Lloyd's best friend, Harry Dunn, visits Lloyd every Wednesday to check up on him and tries to convince him to snap out of his illness. Harry has been doing this for as long as Lloyd has been sick. But after 2 long years, Harry decides it's not working, so he informs Lloyd that from now on he won't be able to come and see him every week since he is having a situation. And then surprisingly, Lloyd reveals that he has been faking his condition the entire time. And what's even more surprising is that instead of being mad, Harry thinks that what Lloyd did is awesome, wasting a chunk of his life just for a prank. Anyway, with the prank done and dusted, Lloyd asks Harry to take him to the nurse so that he can have his catheter removed. But Harry takes the responsibility and pulls the catheter with full force as if he's playing tug of war. After getting discharged, Harry takes Lloyd to his apartment where they meet Billy, a blind guy with a lot of flocking birds. Using his extraordinary mind, Lloyd thinks it would be nice to feed the birds pop rocks. Billy senses it and asks them to immediately pick them up as it can be bad for the birds' stomachs. Taking advantage of Billy's blindness, the duo startle Billy hilariously. At home, Harry informs Lloyd that he needs a kidney transplant or else he will be dead soon. Lloyd, like a true friend, first pokes fun at him, but then prepares a bike to get to Harry's family and seek a genital organ match. At first, Harry is reluctant to go there but soon agrees. They set out on a 2-second journey, only to reach Harry's parents' house, which is just 2 blocks away from their apartment. Outside his parents' house, Harry and Lloyd reminisce about how they used to spend time on that street when they were kids. Lloyd storms at the door, and when it opens, Harry's parents are shocked to see their son. They have lunch together, and all of a sudden, Lloyd insensitively brings out the subject of the kidney. Harry's parents tell him that he is not the real son and was adopted. Harry seems surprised and heartbroken. However, it is evident that he must be adopted since his parents are Chinese, but of course, it's Harry and he was unable to deduce it himself. Before Harry is about to leave, his father gives him his mail that has been piling up since he moved out. Harry quickly goes through his mail only to find a postcard from Freda Felcher, his ex-girlfriend from Cranston, stating that she is pregnant. Lloyd quickly looks at the date, and the postcard is from 1991, which means Harry has a grown-up kid with grown kidneys. Later, Harry is worried about how he is going to contact Freda, so Lloyd comes up with a plan. Lloyd suggests asking Peter Stainer for Freda's number, as he was the one through whom Harry met Freda. So, Lloyd and Harry set out for Peter's house on their bike. However, midway Harry suggests taking a bus, so they arrive there on a bus, specifically on the bus's bike stand, and leave their bike on the bus stand as it was not theirs. Lloyd, being habitual with stirring a storm when he goes somewhere, sticks his hand on the doorbell. Mr. Stainer and his wife open the door and are annoyed by them for troubling them in the middle of the night. After informing them that Peter is dead, they shut the door. Just then, Harry realizes that Freda works at the funeral parlor where Peter is buried. The next day, the duo arrives at Felcher and Felcher's funeral parlor and is unable to recognize Freda. At Lloyd's request, Harry demands Freda to show the smiley face tattoo that she had just above her bikini line. Freda shows them the tattoo, but since she has gained weight, the smiley face is changed to a sad face. Upon seeing the postcard, Freda invites them inside and reveals that she had a daughter whom she named Fanny. Harry is ecstatic to hear it, but soon is disappointed to know that Freda gave up Fanny for adoption because she was broke and scared at the time. Moreover, Freda once wrote a letter to Fanny and got it back with a message stating, "Do not contact again." Seeing Harry all sad, Freda then shows him a picture of Fanny that she found online. Using the address on the letter, Harry and Lloyd decide to go find Fanny. Freda is happy to know that she will have a family reunion and lends them a funeral car. The dumb duo then mistakenly drinks the embalming fluid from Freda's parlor that is used to preserve a corpse, thinking that it is a Slurpee. On their way in the funeral car, Lloyd entertains the kids on the bus next to them by acting like a dead corpse who is eating a croissant. Finally, thinking that they've reached Fanny's house, Harry and Lloyd are shocked to see Freda opening the door. Turns out that the Einsteins used the return address on the letter and came to Freda's house instead. Freda then guides them to Fanny's address, and they drive to Oxford, Maryland, where Fanny lives. On their way, Harry wonders what it would feel like to raise a child. Just then, he dives into his imaginary world where he is spending quality time with his daughter, seeing her get older and finally sending her on her first date. Harry and Lloyd then stop at a hotel for the night where Harry starts panicking when he realizes that he forgot to get someone to feed his cat named Butthole. However, he is relieved when Lloyd tells him that he left Butthole in Billy's apartment before leaving. What they don't know is that Butthole killed all of Billy's rare birds while Billy was away. What a bummer. In the next scene, Fanny is shown, who has now adopted the name Penny. Dr. Bernard Pinchelo and his wife Adele are her adoptive parents. Penny is going to the KN convention in El Paso, Texas, where she is supposed to give a speech after receiving an award on her father's behalf. Before Penny is about to leave, Bernard gives her a package to deliver to the head of the conference, Dr. Walcott. However, being idiotic like her real father, Penny forgets to take the package and her cell phone. Adele is a greedy woman who is having an extramarital affair with her house help, Travis Lippincott. They both want Bernard dead before Penny returns from the convention to take over Bernard's fortune all by themselves, so they are secretly trying to poison Bernard. While Adele is busy toe-sucking Travis, Lloyd interrupts them by pressing the doorbell continuously like he always does. Harry and Lloyd are invited in on Bernard's request, after which they explain their situation. When Bernard calls Penny to inform her about her biological parents, he realizes that Penny left her cell phone along with the package. Bernard is bummed as the package contains one of the most important discoveries in human history that is worth billions. While Bernard and Adele are busy with their conversation, the idiotic duo build a couch fort to keep themselves busy. Hoping to take the billion-dollar invention for herself, Adele suggests that Harry and Lloyd deliver the package to Penny. For safety, she sends Travis along with them so he can get the package for her. On their way, Travis tries to get a hold of the package, but Harry refuses to give it to him. Lloyd and Harry keep annoying Travis with their stupid talk. They stop at a gas station where Harry leaves Freda a message that he has found their daughter and is heading to meet her. Meanwhile, Lloyd can't stop looking at Penny's photograph and indulges in his imagination where he is dating Penny, with Harry's approval of course. What a nice friend. Later, Travis messes with Harry and Lloyd by pranking them with a cold Slurpee poured inside their pants. Harry and Lloyd are adamant about taking revenge, and while they spend a night at a motel, Lloyd sets firecrackers all around Travis when he is asleep. Travis wakes up with the sound of the firecrackers and his room burning. He is boiling mad at them for pulling a death-causing prank on him and furiously tells Adele that he is going to kill the duo. The next day, on their way to El Paso, Travis burns a firecracker in the car, causing Lloyd and Harry to get out of the car immediately. Thankfully, Harry carries the package with him. Travis steps out of the car to shoot them, but before he could do so, he is trampled by a train that happens to pass by the middle of the road. Lloyd and Harry think that Travis stole their funeral car. Just then, Lloyd realizes that Harry has lost his hearing ability after the explosion in the car and decides to get him a hearing aid. They arrive at St. Joseph's nursing home, where Lloyd pretends to be a grandson of an old lady, Miss Snurgle, and steals her hearing aid for Harry. Adele hears of Travis's death from his twin brother, Captain Lippincott, who is an ex-military soldier, and is shocked to see him in her house. Captain Lippincott tells Adele that he will avenge the death of Travis and help her kill Harry and Lloyd. Meanwhile, Harry and Lloyd use whatever means of transportation they could use to get to the convention. And finally, after covering a long journey by changing multiple vehicles, they reach the Ken Convention Center. Lloyd starts asking everyone if they had seen Penny and ends up finding a Mexican guy who knows about her. He asks the guy to tell Penny that her father has arrived to meet her and gives him his number. Later, Harry and Lloyd decide to buy some smart clothing to fit in with the high-profile people. Meanwhile, in the hotel, Captain Lippincott disguises as a hotel service guy and serves Penny her food. Before he is about to shoot her, Penny's friends walk in and inform her that her father has arrived at the convention. On the other hand, everyone at the convention is ecstatic to know that Penny's father, Dr. Bernard, has arrived. Lloyd and Harry finally get inside the center in graduation robes but are denied entry. But Harry impersonates Bernard and is invited to a seminar. Being broke after buying graduation robes, Lloyd and Harry don't have money to buy beer. So they take the glasses with leftover beer, rub their asses with their hands, and complain to the seminar staff to get them fresh beer. As compensation, they are given goji berries and pumpkin chips along with fresh beer. The brainless duo eat the food with their dirty hands and complain that the food is salty and tangy. The director of the conference, Dr. Barbara Walcott, is honored to meet Harry thinking he is Bernard. Finally, the conference starts and Harry and Lloyd don't hesitate to make a scene there. During a break, Lloyd is asked to leave the convention as he is not on the attendance list. Lloyd threatens that if he leaves, Bernard will leave too. But Harry refuses to do so as he wants to meet his daughter. The friends get into an argument when Harry discovers that Lloyd has been drooling over Penny all along and wants to marry her. At last, Lloyd is escorted out of the convention where he gets a call from Penny. He tells her that he is in town with her father and wants to meet her. Meanwhile, Adele arrives at the convention and is shocked to see Harry being honored for Bernard's work. Meanwhile, Lloyd is amazed to see the beautiful Penny and hugs her tightly. He returns Penny her cell phone and tells her that her father has the package that she forgot at home. Lippincott is seen aiming a sniper at Lloyd, but just then, he receives a call from Adele asking him to come to her ASAP. Meanwhile, Lloyd takes Penny to a restaurant where he keeps giving clues for her to develop a romantic relationship. He then reveals that her biological father is Harry and hands her the letter that her mother, Freda, wrote her many years ago. When Penny reads the letter, Lloyd suddenly realizes that he too had a sexual encounter with Freda, and he could also must be Penny's father, which means Penny won't be able to donate her kidney. Moving on, Penny and Freda then arrive at the convention but are denied entry. Meanwhile, Adele exposes Harry as a fraud and tells Dr. Walcott that he stole Bernard's package. Just then, Freda triggers the fire alarm to create a diversion that lets her and Penny enter the convention. As the building is evacuated, Harry bumps into Freda and Penny. Penny is amazed to see her biological father and mother. They then hide in the restroom, where Adele and Lippincott corner them with guns. Lippincott snatches the package from Harry, and just then, Lloyd bursts inside the restroom with his own kidney that he got removed from Mexico, so Harry can have his kidney transplant. Lloyd also tells Harry that Penny is actually his daughter. But adding another twist, Freda reveals that both Lloyd and Harry are not Penny's fathers. Lippincott is annoyed after listening to their stupid talk, and he turns the tables on Adele when he points a gun at her, asking her to join Harry and Lloyd. He then opens the package only to find 2 vanilla cupcakes in it. The other 2 chocolate ones were eaten by Lloyd. Just then, Penny's Mexican friends, along with Bernard, burst into the restroom with weapons, asking Lippincott to surrender. Turns out Bernard knew about Adele's vicious plan of killing him. Plus, the letter that Penny supposedly wrote back to Freda had Adele's handwriting on it, not Penny's. Moreover, the Mexicans are FBI agents that were hired by Bernard to protect Penny. Adele fumes with anger after knowing the truth and attempts to shoot Penny, but Harry takes the bullet for her on his shoulder. Freda jumps onto Adele and starts smacking her for keeping the letter from Penny. Adele and Lippincott are then arrested by the FBI agents. Harry is rushed to the hospital where Lloyd asks the doctor to treat his wound and also swap Harry's kidney with his. But when the doctor sees the kidney box, it contains a pork chop instead of a kidney. So, Lloyd was fooled by the Mexican doctor. With no more kidneys for Harry, it seems he'll die. But wait, Harry reveals that he never needed a kidney and was just pranking Lloyd. Both the friends laugh their hearts out at the genius prank executed by Harry. Finally, Harry's gunshot wound is treated, and he is discharged from the hospital. As Harry, Lloyd, and Penny walk out of the hospital, they see Bernard and Freda coming out of the janitor's room after making out. Freda then reveals that Penny's biological father is the deceased Peter Stainer, whom the duo calls P. Stain. Freda then introduces Penny to her grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. Stainer. She then tells Harry and Lloyd that she never had sex with them. Turns out that the witless duo never knew the real definition of sex and are mind-boggled to find out about it. Both the friends set out to leave El Paso while remembering Lloyd's time in the psychiatric hospital when Harry changed his diapers. The film ends with Harry and Lloyd pushing 2 ladies into a bush and yelling "Bush Club," after which they run away. Yeah, so this move was fun, and I hope you enjoyed this recap. If you did, make sure to leave a like and comment your thoughts down below in the comments section. And also subscribe to the channel to never miss out on future videos.